Are you getting frustrated with all of your potential freelancers and factories telling you that to develop your apparel, it's going to take a little bit longer than you expected it to? Well, in today's video, I really wanted to break down why a lot of the experts in the industry are telling you that to create and launch an apparel line, you should be planning for anywhere from 9 months to a year. Now, I've been hearing that a couple of factories are out there touting to customers or potential customers that they can get all of it done in 3 or 4 months. I actually just had a potential client talk to me the other day. When I told them 9 months to a year, they were trying to dispute that because they had another source telling them that they could go through the entire tech packing process, development process, and production process in just 3 months. And I told them what I'm going to tell you, that I just cannot sign up for that type of timeline, and I cannot stand by the quality or guarantee of a product if you're trying to do it that fast. So let's work on this backwards. Any great project manager is going to tell you that if you want to put a project timeline together, it's best to start from the end point and go backward from there. So let's talk about production timelines. A large production timeline will typically take a factory or a manufacturer anywhere from 90 to 120 days. So 3 or 4 months is what they like to put on their books to make sure that they're going through all of the right quality checks, all of the correct production processes before they ship it to you. Now, if you're doing a small run, you can probably get that down to 60 days, but even with factories who are local and who are doing runs as small as 150 units, I've run into that same 60-day or 8-week timeline for production. So there's 2 months right there at the shortest. And then when you think about going through the development timeline, I want you to add at least 3 months on top of that. So a month for tech packing, a month for a first proto, and a month for a size run. Now this is the absolute fastest that you could go through the process. And I give you a month because being able to get that off to the factory, get them to interpret it, get them to understand it, get them to make whatever you need them to make in the way of samples, get it to you, you need to evaluate it, fit it, and write your comments. That is going to take you about a month. So now you've got this 5-month timeline that could be if every single thing goes perfectly. And I am going to tell you, I've only ever seen it happen once. Unmarked Street has been able to get through a project in that 5-month timeline, but it was an anomaly. I did not expect it to happen, and it was one of those situations where we were able to make very fast decisions, and instead of going to another proto round, we specifically chose to make sure to move forward in the timeline that we needed. So 5 months being the minimum means adding all of that extra time for a potential second proto, for potential production issues. If your manufacturer starts getting into production with a different vendor or a different client who is higher up on their priority chain than you, guess what? Your production is going to be bumped and you are going to be the one suffering the timeline. Figuring out a launch timeline that's realistic and being realistic about when you can launch your apparel is crucial. If you're banking on 3 or 4 months because you need money or because there's some other outlying factor that requires you to do it that fast, I really encourage you to evaluate your business plan and go back to it and reevaluate it again, because you are setting yourself up for failure. What happens when you sign up for 3 or 4 months and all of a sudden it takes 9 months to a year? Are you going to be out of income for that long? Can you handle that? I know this is not information that everybody wants to hear. There are a lot of freelancers on social media right now touting the same message, talking about longer timelines and about clients who are always so disappointed when they hear it. But please heed our advice. We have been experts in the industry for a really long time. If you're interested in hiring someone to help you with your development and production processes to speed it up as fast as possible, even if that might not be 3 or 4 months, please give me a shout. You can contact me at unmarkedstreet.com anytime.